All right, so this is lesson 4.4, multiplying methods. So write down what you know about the different ways about multiplying, and then we're going to discuss a few different ones today. All right, so last time we looked at the place value sections. Remember that? So that's one way to do multiplication. Today, we're going to be looking at the place value rows method. So it's like the place value sections. It's just a couple of steps shorter. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So in the place values rows methods, you still make two boxes instead of the four boxes that we had before here. Remember how we made the four boxes? Instead of making the four boxes, we make two boxes, one right on top of each other. And we still, instead of separating both numbers into the tens and ones, instead of doing that, we keep one number the same. So I kept the 34 the same. Then I did break down the 28 into a 20 into an 8. And then you simply multiply the 20 times the 34 and then the 8 times 34. So if I were to multiply 20 times 34, it's just basically like 34 times 2. I'm going to get my pen. Oops, I got caught here. There we go. Times. It's like multiplying times 2. 4 times 2 is 8, 3 times 2 is 6, and then the 0 from the 20 makes it 680. That's how I got my 680. And then it's 34 times my 8. 8 times 4 is 32, carry my 3. 8 times 3 is 24, plus the 3 is 27, the 272. So my 272 and my 680, and I took it over here to the side, and then I added them up. So it's the same, right? But you're saving a couple of different steps. You're not breaking down the 34. So it's a little bit faster. So if you're going to use one of these methods, the place values rows method is probably preferable because it's going to save you some time. So let's look at another example. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. 35 times 44. Let's do the place values rows method. So again, the first thing I did is I created my boxes. So that's the first thing you would do. And you should create these a little bit bigger so you have room to write. It should kind of be evenly distributed. So if I were to draw this, I'd probably draw something like this just to make it, and I'd probably split them in half, okay, just to have more room. I'd probably take up like half of paper if you're doing this on paper, just so you have plenty of room to write. Okay, so I kept my 44 the same, and it doesn't matter which one you keep the same. I just happen to keep the second factor, but it doesn't really matter which one you keep. And I broke apart the 30 and a 5 into I broke apart the 35 into a 30 and a 5. So then I took the 30 and multiplied it by 44, and I got 1,320. And then I took the 44 and I multiplied it by 5, and I got 220. And if you want to see that, I'll do it over here on the side. So remember what we learned about powers of 10, right? Multiplying by 10. So I'm going to ignore the 0, and I'm simply going to do 44. I'll use my pen. 44 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry my 1. 4 times 3 is 12. Plus the one I carried is 13. Plus the 0 gives me the 1320. And then I did 44 times 5. Let me change color so you can see it better. So 44 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Carry my 2. 4 times 5 is 20. Plus 2 is 22. That gave me my 220. And then I just lined up I just lined up my numbers in the right place value and then just added them up. Okay, that's how you do the place values rows method. I think it's faster than the place values section method because you have two less sections to do, and I think it's way faster. Okay, so now you try one. Try 53 times 24 using the place value rows method like we just used. So remember, you're going to make two big, split it in half and do it that way. So you try one, then come back to me for the answer, okay? All right, so it doesn't matter which one you break apart. I kept it consistent. I broke apart the first number into a 50 and a 3, and I kept the 24 the same. So that 50 times 24, and I got 1200. And I just did basically 24 times 5, okay? And I got 1200, and then I did 24 times 3, and I got 72. I added those up together, and then I got 1272 as my answer, and hopefully you got the same answer. Okay, let's look at another method. This one's called the shortcut method, or what I like to call the old-fashioned method, because this is a way I grew up learning how to multiply. Um, so just a different method. If this seems too way confusing for you, you don't have to use it, but it's just another way of doing it, okay? So the shortcut method, you line up your numbers, just like here. So multiplying 43 times 67, and it doesn't matter what I put on the top or on the bottom, right? Because in multiplication, the commutative property of multiplication tells me the order of the factors does not matter. So this one has 67 times 43. First thing you do is you multiply the ones place, okay? 7 times 3 is 21. You put the 1 down, you carry your 2. Then you're going to multiply the ones times the tens on the top digit. So it'd be 3 times 6, which is 18, plus remember I carried the 2, so that gives me 201. So that gives me 201 for the first one. Now I multiplied everything I multiplied by 1 times 1 and the 1 times the 10, so I'm done with that. So what I like to do sometimes, I think you guys learned that tic-tac-toe in 4th grade, right? Where you cross off the 3 because you're done with it, and you put a 0 in the ones place because you're done with it. So then you would start at the tens place, and you would go from the tens to the ones. 4 times 7 is 28, so you put your 8 down, carry your 2, and then you would do 6 times 4, which is 24, plus the 2. Sorry, did I say 6 times 4 is 24, plus the 2 you carried is 26. So that gives you the 26. And then you just add them up at the end. And so let me show you another example where it's not like this. Okay, here's another example. 32 times 76, okay? So first I do the ones, up and down. 6 times 2 is 12, so I put a 2 down. I put my 2 down. And I'm going to carry the 1 over to the tens, okay? And then I'm going to do 6 times 3, which is 18, plus the 1 is 19, and that's going to give me 192. Now what I like doing, once I'm done using that, so I'm done using the 6, I'm going to cross it off. I'm done with the ones place, so I'm going to put a 0 there, and I'm done with that, so I'm going to cross it off. Okay, so that way it doesn't confuse you, because if you leave it there, it can get a little bit confusing. Okay, always put a 0 in the ones place when you're done with the ones, when you start your second row. Okay, so I'm going to change my color so it looks different to you guys. Then I'm going to start with the tens to the ones. 7 times 2 is 14. Put my 4 down, carry my 1. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. 22. And then I just simply add it together. Okay, so 2 plus 0 is 2. 9 plus 4 is 13. Carry my 1. 2, 3, 4 to 2,432. If this seems confusing and you like the place value sections row method better, by all means use that, okay? So just trying to give you different strategies, and so, different strategies of which way you like, which method you prefer. Okay, you try one. 47 times 38. Try using the shortcut method. If you're still having problems, you can stay with me and I'll go through it step by step in just a second. But if not, try it on your own. If not, stay with me. Okay, so 47 times 38, I got 1,786 as an answer. And if you're having problems, let me walk you through it. So the first thing I did, 7 times 8 is 56, put my 6 down, carry my 5. 8 times 4 is 32, plus my 5 is 37, okay? So I'm done with that 8, cross it off. I'm done with the 5, cross it off, and I put a 0 in my ones place. Then I did 3 times 7 is 21, put my 1 down, carry my 2. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14, and then I just added 6 plus 0, 7 plus 1 is 8, 4 plus 3 is 7, 1 plus nothing is 1, 1,786. All right, please write down what you learned today. Do a proof of learning by solving a problem similar. So make up your own 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication and either use the shortcut method. You can use the shortcut method or use the place value rows method that we learned in this video to solve a problem that you create on your own. And then if you have a reflection or a question, please write that down and we'll dive deeper in class working on more problems similar to this, okay? Have a great day.